Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Unorthodox Vegan. My name is Sean Gold, and this week, episode 88, we're going to be making chili. Very simple recipe. I found it online on Sam Turnbull's website. It doesn't taste like chicken. First thing I'm going to be doing is chopping up an onion and mincing a garlic, and then we'll be sauteing that up, and then we'll be putting all the rest of the stuff back in. Back in a bit. As you can see, I have browned the garlic and the onions a little bit. Next, I'll be putting in 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Now, the recipe also calls for 1 can of black beans, so I'll be putting in the black beans. I've drained it. It says drained and rinsed. I didn't rinse it, but I did drain it. Actually, I didn't drain it. I poured off the liquid that was in there, and I'm putting that into a container, because I'm going to need a cup of water later, and I want to make sure that I use that liquid instead. It did call for red or dark kidney beans. I had white ones in the cupboard, and I thought, well, let's use the white kidney beans. And I'll be also adding most of the liquid I got from the can, not all of it, but most of it, because it says it calls for a cup of water in there. Next up is the spices. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Now, it does call for an optional having a cayenne pepper. I thought my wife doesn't like it too hot, so I'm just going to make it the way it is. Now, that's going to be cooking for a while, but now there was a separate part of the recipe, which is to make to add the textured meat kind of thing, which is using tofu. Now I'm going to be putting in place of that, I'm going to be putting in a 1/4 cup of textured vegetable protein, and I'll be mixing in this excess hamburger meat that I had in the fridge. Well, that has been simmering for the last hour, and it looks absolutely wonderful. I've stirred it a few times in between. So let's do a taste test. Here we go. Oh, that is delicious. Absolutely wonderful. Creamy. You know, the kidney beans make it nice and creamy. Just give that a little bit of a creaminess to it. They're easy. They're soft. They're nice to have. You know, I was surprised about the cumin. I'm not a big fan of cumin. I didn't put in a full tablespoon. I put in like 3/4 of a tablespoon. But the cumin works in chili. What can I say? It's great. Oh, that's it for this week's edition of the Unorthodox Vegan. If you'd like to get a hold of me, you can reach me at my email address up here. That's vrcompanions@gmail.com. And of course, please follow me on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@the_unorthodox_vegan. Until next time, have yourself a great day.